Design and implement asynchronous up counter using decade counter IC to count from 0 to 9 and demonstrate this on 7 segment display. So what we need to do is we need to design and implement the asynchronous counter by using the decade counter IC to count, which usually counts from 0 to 9 from the 7 segment display. In this experiment we will be using two ICs. One is 7490 and we are using the other IC, that is a decade counter. The IC number for that is 7447. So this is the circuit for this experiment. So this is the circuit diagram for this experiment. So we have two ICs, one is 7490, another one is 7447. This is the decade counter IC. So here in 7490 there are 14 pins, 7 pins on each side. Coming to this 7447, there are 16 pins, 8 pins on each side. So now what I will do is, so we will do the connection now. So I will take up 7490. So 7490 has 14 pins in total, 7 pins on each side. I will connect this onto the first IC base. Next we have 7447 IC, which is a decade counter IC. This has 16 pins in total. We have 7 pins on each side. I will connect this on the second IC base. Now I will take up the patch cord. So moving on to the circuit, here the first pin, one end of the patch cord should be connected to the first pin, another end is connected to Q0. Q0 is nothing but the first output. Again here we need to read the output from right to left. So what I will do is I will take one patch cord. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the first pin, another end is connected to Q0. See here, I will take up the patch cord. One end is connected to the first pin of 7490, another end is connected to Q0. Q0 is the first output that is connected to the fourth pin in the logic outputs, because even in this experiment we will read the outputs from right to left. So fourth pin will becomes the first output, that is Q0. Third pin will becomes the second output, that is Q1. The second pin in logic outputs, that will becomes the third output, that is Q2, and the first pin in logic outputs, this will becomes the fourth output, and that is Q3. So now one end of the patch cord is connected to the first pin of 7490, another end is connected to QA. Another end is connected to Q0. We need to read the output from right to left. Next, the second connection is, so here 2 and 3 should be shorted. After shorting 2 and 3, I need to connect that to the ground. Now what I will do is I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the second pin, another end is connected to the third pin of 7490. I will take another patch cord. One end is connected to the ground of 7490. Another end can be connected to the second pin, as well as that can be connected to the third pin, because 2 and 3 are shorted. Next we have NC, that is no connection for the fourth pin. Then moving on to the fifth pin should be connected to plus VCC. I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the fifth pin, another end is connected to the plus VCC of 7490. Next, 6th and 7th should be shorted. Then it need to be connected to the ground pin of 7490. What I will do is I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 6th pin, another end is connected to the 7th pin. So here 6 and 7 are shorted. I will take one patch cord. I can connect one end of the patch cord to either 6 or 7. Another end, I will connect the another end of this patch cord to the ground pin of 7490. So moving on to the 8th pin. 8th pin, so we need to connect 8th pin to Q2, as well as we need to connect 8th pin to the second pin of 7447. So what I will do is I will concentrate on this IC, that is 7490. Now I will connect one end of the patch cord to the 8th pin, another end is connected to Q2. So here I will take one patch cord, I will connect one end of this patch cord to the 8th pin. Here this 7490 IC has 14 pins, 7 pins on each side. On the left hand side we have 7 pins, this is pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and from the bottom right corner this is 8th pin. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the 8th pin of 7490, another end is connected to Q2. Q2 is the third output. Next, I need to connect 9th pin to Q1. Q1 is the second output. So what I will do is I will take one patch cord, I will connect one end to the 9th pin of 7490 IC, another end is connected to the Q1. Q1 is the second logic output. Next, 10th pin. So 10th pin should be grounded here. So I will take one patch cord. So one end is connected to the 10th pin. On the left hand side we have 7 pins. Coming to the bottom right corner we have 8 pin here, then 9th, then 10th. I will connect one end to the 10th pin, another end is connected to the ground pin of 7490. Next, moving on to the 11th pin. So 11th pin should be connected to Q3. So what I will do is I will take one patch cord, one end is connected to the 11th pin. So on the left hand side we have 7, on from the bottom right corner we have 8, 9, 10, then 11. So one end of the patch cord is connected to the 11th pin of 7490, another end is connected to Q3. Q3 is the fourth output. So I need to read the outputs from right to left. So this will be the fourth output here. Next, 12th pin should be connected to Q0. So what I will do is I will take one patch cord. What I will do is I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 12th pin here of 7490 IC. Another end is connected to the Q0. Q0 is the first output from the right hand side. Next, we have no connection to the 13th pin, and 14th pin should be connected to clock. See here, the 7490 IC is fixed onto the first IC base. So this is the 14th pin. From the bottom right corner, pin number starts from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. One end is connected to the 14th pin, another end is connected to the monopulse clock of the digital trainer kit. So this is the monopulse clock. I will connect another end to the monopulse clock. We are done with the connections of 7490 IC. Moving on to the 7447 IC. Here you can see here 3, 4 and 5. All these 3 pins are shorted and that need to be connected to plus VCC. So 7447 IC is connected on the second IC base of this digital trainer kit. Now what I need to do is I need to short pin number 3, 4 and 5. I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the third pin of 7447. Another end is connected to the fourth pin of 7447. I will take another patch cord. One end is connected to the fourth pin of 7447. Another end is connected to the fifth pin of 7447. By this we have shorted 3 pins, that is pin number 3, 4 and 5. Now I need to connect this to the plus VCC. I will take one patch cord. So one end is connected either to the third pin or to the fourth pin, or that can be connected to the fifth pin. So I will connect one end of the patch cord to the fifth pin. Another end is connected to the plus VCC of 7447 IC. Next, we have connections for the 7th pin, where Q0 should be connected to 7th pin. Q0 is the first output. see here, this is the Q0 because we read the output from right to left and the first output from the right hand side is Q0. So I will connect one end of the patch cord to the Q0, another end is connected to the 7th pin of 7447. So in this IC we have 16 pins, 8 pins on each side. So another end of this patch cord should be connected to the 7th pin. 7447 has 16 pins in total, 16 pins in total, 8 pins on each side. Next, I will take another patch cord. One end should be connected to Q3 or it can be connected to the 11th pin of 7490. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the Q3. Another end is connected to the 6th pin of 7447. So see here, I will take one patch cord. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the 6th pin of 7447. Another end is connected to the Q3. Q3 is the 4th output from the right hand side. Next, we need to do the connection for 6th pin, where for the 6th pin Q3 should be connected. So we have done that connection. Next, moving on to the 9th pin, moving on to the first pin of 7447, that should be connected to Q1. Q1 is the second output. So now what I will do is, I will take one patch cord. One end of the patch cord is connected to the first pin of 7447. Another end is connected to the Q1. Q1 is the second output from the right hand side. Next, we need to make the connection for the second pin, where one end of the patch cord should be connected to the second pin of 7447. Another end should be connected to Q2, where Q2 is the third output from the right hand side. See here, I will take one patch cord. One end of the patch cord is connected to the second pin of 7447. Another end is connected to the Q2. Q2 is the third output. Q2 is the third output from the right hand side. So now moving on to the right hand side of 7447, we have a 16th pin, where we need to connect the 16th pin to the plus VCC of this 7447 IC. So now I will take one patch cord. One end of the patch cord is connected to the 16th pin. So here, coming to the 7447 IC, there are total 16 pins in this IC, 8 pins on each side, which means that on the left hand side we have 8 pins. So then from the bottom right corner of this IC base, it starts from, the pin number starts from 9th pin. 9th, this is 9th, then 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. One end should be connected to the 6th pin, 16th pin, another end should be connected to the plus VCC of that same IC. Next, we need to do the connections for 7th segment display, where 15th pin, so that is nothing but the F. 15th pin should be connected to F of 7th segment display. 15th pin of 7447 should be connected to F of 7th segment display. Now what I will do is, I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to 15th pin of 7447. So from the bottom right, so the pin number starts from 9, then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. I will connect one end to the 15. Another end of this patch cord is connected to F. This is the 7 segment display. There are 3 7 segment display here. I will take up the first 7 segment display. Another end of the patch cord is connected to F. This is the F pin of 7 segment display. Next, I will take this another patch cord. So now I need to connect for G. G belongs to the 14th pin of 7447. One end of the patch cord should be connected to 14th pin. Another end is connected to the G pin of 7 segment display. See here, I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 14th pin. So from the bottom right corner, the pin number starts from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the 14th pin. Another end is connected to G. So G is another input in the 7 segment display. So next, Next is A. So 13th pin is connected to the A input of 7 segment display. I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 13th pin of 7447. So from the bottom right corner, pin number starts from 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. I will connect one end to the 13th pin. Another end is connected to the A pin of 74, the A pin of 7 segment display. Next is B. So B is associated with 12th pin of 7447. One end of the patch cord should be connected to the 12th pin. Another end is connected to the B input of 7 segment display. So I will take one patch cord here. One end of the patch cord is connected to the 12th pin. So here we have 8th. So 8th pin on the left hand side. Next, from the bottom right corner, pin number starts with 9, 10, 11, 12. So one end of the patch cord is connected to the 12th pin. Another end is connected to the B input of 7 segment display. Next, C. So C is associated with the 11th pin of 7447. One end of the patch cord should be connected to the 11th pin. Another end should be connected to the C input of 7 segment display. See here, we have one patch cord where one end of this patch cord should be connected to the 11th pin. So the 11th pin of 7447. Next, we need to do the connections for C. Here, the C input of 7 segment display is associated with the 11th pin of 7447. What I need to do is, I will take one patch cord. One end of this patch cord is connected to the 11th pin. So of a 7447 IC, 7447 IC has 16 pins, 8 pins on each side. From the bottom right corner, pin number starts with 9, 10 and 11. Where one end of the patch cord is connected to the 11th pin, another end is connected to the C pin of 7 segment display. Next, we have D input of 7. Next, we need to make the connection for D input of 7 segment display, where D is associated with the 10th pin of 7447. One end of the patch cord should be connected to the 10th pin. Another end should be connected to the D input of 7 segment display. See here, I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 10th pin. Another end is connected to the D input of 7 segment display. Next, we we need to make the connection for the E input. E is associated with the 9th pin of 7447. So what I need to do is, one end of the patch cord should be connected to the 9th pin. Another end is connected to the E input of 7 segment display. So I will take one patch cord here. One end is connected to the 9th pin. On the right hand side of 7447 we have 8 pins. From the bottom right corner, the pin number starts with 9. I will connect one end of the patch cord to the 9th pin. Another end is connected to the E input of 7 segment display. Next, we have another connection where 8th pin of 7447 should be connected to ground. 8th pin of 7447 should be connected to ground. So I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the 8th pin. Another end is connected to the ground of the ground pin of that respective IC. Next, coming to the 7 segment display, here we have a 3 connection. One is DP connection. DP should be grounded, which means that DP should be connected to the ground pin of 7447 IC. This 7 segment display completely depends on this 7447 IC. That's why the DP which is in the DP pin which is in 7 segment display, that should be connected to the ground of 7447 IC. Now I will take one patch cord here. One end is connected to the DP input. So DP input. Another end is connected to the ground pin of 7447. So here I have connected the 7447 IC onto the second IC base. Next, we have a COM connection. There are 2 connections for COM. One end should be connected to COM. Another end should be connected to the monopulse clock. So we will do this connection now. I will take one patch cord. One end is connected to the COM input of 7 segment display. Another end is connected to the monopulse clock. And we have another last connection, that is one end of the patch cord should be connected to COM, another end should be connected to plus VCC. Here plus VCC means I need to connect or I need to consider the plus VCC of 7447, which means that one end of the patch cord is connected to COM input of 7 segment display, another end should be connected to VCC of 7447 IC. See here, I will take one patch cord. One end of the patch cord is connected to the COM input of 7 segment display. Another end is connected to the plus VCC of 7447 IC. So this is how we need to do the circuit. Next, we need to verify this circuit on the 7 segment display. After doing this circuit connection, switch on the trainer kit. So when you switch on the trainer kit, we need to press this monopulse clock. See here, when I switch on the trainer kit, the output which I got in the 7 segment display is 0. When I press the monopulse clock, the output is 1. When I press the monopulse clock again, the output is 2. So like this, when I press the monopulse clock again, the output is 3 here. When I press the monopulse clock here, the next output is 4. After that 5. Next is 6. 4, 5, 6. 6, then this 7, next output is 8, after that 9, again it starts from 0, So this is how we need to verify the output of this experiment, that is asynchronous counter, which usually counts from 0 to 9. After counting 9, again it starts from counting 0. This is how we need to verify the output of this experiment.